Well. The Cowboys, of course, we know anybody who's in the Northern Hemisphere know the Dallas Cowboys got absolutely smashed against the Philadelphia Eagles. What's going on, LaQueen? And there are some things that are coming out about the Dallas Cowboys, and I figured there would be just more and more news. And what's starting to circulate are the interviews, the post-game interviews of the Dallas Cowboys. And I want to go back. I want to see if we can get the full interview on Jerry Jones. I want to see if we can get the full interview. And I might save those. Let me think. I may save those for this afternoon. We may look at the Micah Parsons one, though, for sure, because what Micah Parsons said is actually making a lot of rounds out there in the news. And I think it's very interesting what he said. And so I want to start out, though, with Overreaction Monday. Overreaction Monday. You guys out there listening, wherever you are, let's sound off on the comments. Overreaction Monday. I've written down a few things. Just kind of listening to things that are being said. And some of these probably will not be overreactions. Some of these are probably going to be the right reaction based on what happened yesterday. Keith Rivera, what's up? Cooper Rush has got to be the worst quarterback in NFL history. You know what, though, Keith? We needed to see it. We needed to see Cooper Rush exactly like that yesterday. Because people were just talking too much about how good Cooper Rush was. And I'm still laughing. I'm gonna go back and hear some of the things that Jerry Jones said. And even Mike McCarthy, it's like, come on. I don't believe for a second they bought into the hype. I don't believe for a second they bought into the hype. I mean, I say they didn't buy into the hype, but they seem like they themselves bought into the hype of one Cooper Rush. Because Jerry Jones was very offensive in the postgame. He was very offensive. And he was defending, this whole issue about Cooper Rush. And he's seen Cooper Rush play better. And they expected him to do better. And I want to make sure I clarify some comments, because a lot of people think that Jerry Jones was saying that he thought the offense was going to do better without Dak Prescott. That's not what Jerry Jones was saying. Jerry Jones was saying he thought the offense would do better, as in he didn't expect this without Dak Prescott. He wasn't saying he expected them to be better without Dak Prescott. He expected them to do better. He thought they would have a better showing. Because, see, Jerry was having visions of grandeur. Jerry was having visions of grandeur thinking back to the 2022 season. I'm assuming that he bought into the hype. Him and Mike McCarthy. I ranted about it last night. I'm still upset with Mike McCarthy comparing Cooper Rush to Rich Gannon. Insane to do something that's just irresponsible. Irresponsible. Andre, where did we go from here? We're going to talk about that today. That's some of the things that we have on our list. Yep, Cooper Rush, I'm telling you. Man, I'm not a football genius. But when people start talking about a player, I have to go back and I have to go look at the tape. I'll give you a prime example from last night. How many folks saw one of the most insane games I think I've seen? I don't think I've seen anything like this. The Detroit Lions and the Houston Texans, who we're going to run up against on a Monday night, had one of the most bizarre games I've ever seen. Now I'm going to show you why you have to go back and look at things. So if we look at this right here, I'm going to show you why I do what I do. So if you look at this score right here, the score is 26-23. I mean, you may assume it was business as usual for the Detroit Lions. But it wasn't business as usual for the Detroit Lions. Because once you start breaking down the box score, I keep telling folk, the devil is in the details. When you go back and look at the box score, this is when you know how incredible what they did, how incredible it was. I want you to feast your eyes on this. Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions. Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions. You want to hear something incredible? If I'm a quarterback in this league, I want a quarterback for this team right here. I want to be the quarterback for a team like this. Whoever built this Detroit Lion team, y'all, I wish Jerry Jones would let that same person come and build this Dallas Cowboy team. Whoever built this Detroit Lion team, y'all, he has built this team from the ashes. This is a Super Bowl team. I don't want to hear nothing about the Washington Commanders. They're not better than the Detroit Lions. I mean, we're going to see, I guess, in a few weeks, whenever they play. But no. The Detroit Lions, this is a Super Bowl team. Andre said it's real. Heavy Chevy, what's up? Jerry stuck in the 90s nostalgia and hoping that he could capture that moment again. I don't know what moment he trying to catch Heavy Chevy. But he ain't catching it with this. It's not the players, y'all. Some of it's the players, but it's not totally the players. Mike McCarthy is absolutely horrible. He's absolutely horrible. And this is one of the reasons why I say, whoever built this Detroit Lion team, come build the Cowboys. Come build the Cowboys. You know why I say that? You're a quarterback on the Detroit Lions. You're a quarterback on the Detroit Lions. You can throw 5 interceptions and play against a team like the Houston Texans. Houston Texans are no slouch. They got one of the best young quarterbacks in the league, C.J. Stroud. They have Mixon on their team as the running back. I mean, when you look at this team up and down, they're not really a slouch. I think they might be missing their top receiver, but they got, quote unquote, the top tight end in football, according to him, Dalton Schultz. Did pretty good last night. I mean, they have a good team. They have a good defense. I mean, they got a lot of things going on the Houston Texans. Great coaching. Great coaching. The Detroit Lions had 5 turnovers. The Houston Texans had 2. And the Detroit Lions, even after 5 interceptions, do you know they won this game 26-23? It was literally insane. It was literally insane. It's the only way I can explain it. But if you're a quarterback, I want you to think about this. Michael Parsons alluded to this. Michael Parsons said that Dak Prescott ought to be able to throw 2 interceptions. He ought to be able to throw 2 interceptions, and the defense still has his back. A quarterback wants to know, man, that if I make mistakes, if I'm off on my game, if I'm going through a bad spell in the season, can my defense hold me down until I can get back up? That's complimentary football, y'all. It's just like a marriage. A lot of people don't understand something about a marriage. I'm about to be married 25 years in December. And one thing I've learned about marriage, a guy told me this when around the time I first got married. But I didn't understand it until much later. He said, George, a marriage is not 50-50. He said a lot of people will tell you a marriage is 50-50. He said a marriage is not 50-50, George. It's 100-100. Both the man and the woman both must give 100-100. He said, but some days in that marriage, George, you're going to give 125. She's going to give 75. She's going to give 150. You may give 50. You may give 165. She may give 35. There are just times, there are just days, there are just situations to where both of y'all are not giving 100-100. And there will be days where y'all will both be giving 100-100. But there are days when you're not giving 100-100. And this still complementary. That marriage, that flesh is still one. But sometimes one part needs to pick the other part up, and that's still complementary. And even in complementary football, it's not always that both sides are firing on all cylinders. Sometimes in complementary football, I need my special teams to step up and be even greater than my offense and defense. I need my defense to rise above special teams because they fumbled the ball. I need my defense to rise above the offense because we got 5 turnovers. Can we still be in the game? Complementary football, y'all. I think we've let people skew this and say, okay, it's when you win in all 3 phases of the ball. You don't always have to win in all 3 phases of the ball to have complementary football. Because for me, complementary football is when sometimes one part ain't working as well. Well, then can another part rise to the occasion and say, I got you, offense. I got you. Y'all know what happened in 2022? The offense told Cooper Rush, we got you. I'm sorry, the defense told Cooper Rush, we got you. That's what they told him. That's what they told him. Hey, Cooper Rush, tell you what you do. We got you. If you don't turn the ball over. If you just don't turn it over, we got you. If you don't make bonehead mistakes, Mike McCarthy, and then we're in field goal range, kick that field goal. And when we get back on the field as the defense, we got you. You know what happened last night? I'm sorry, you know what happened yesterday afternoon? Do y'all know the defense came out absolutely fired up? That defense was fired up, man. It was. That defense was fired up. That defense came out in that first half. In particular, that first half, that defense was fired up. They did their thing. They shut down Saquon Barkley. I'm sorry, had no answer for Jalen Hurts. I just don't know if there is going to be an answer for Jalen Hurts with the push, with the tush push. His vision as far as when it's time to scramble, when it's not time to scramble, how he throws the ball, when he scrambles to the left or the right and finding open receivers. I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to stop Jalen Hurts, especially as this season goes on, because he has a running game. And even when it's not effective, I keep telling folk, the running game is not to dominate the game. The running game is for you to be dominant. And the Philadelphia Eagles, who had a running game yesterday, and they were dominant. And while he brought a safety down, they played single high safety. And that's why Kalen Carson was getting torched. You're playing single high safety. I mean, you're basically saying we're not going to give our cornerbacks, we're going to try to let our safety play center field when our safeties haven't been playing their own part of the field well. Do y'all know our safeties are not good? And I don't know if they're not necessarily good. They're just not playing good in this system. They're not playing good in this system, y'all. They're not. I don't understand how these same safeties, and I do understand because like I keep saying, Dan Quinn's defense is more of a mercenary style defense. Attack the ball. Attack the ball. It's not even that it's not discipline, but it's not dependent upon discipline. It's mercenary football. Every man to the ball. Wherever the ball is, I want every man there. And then when they get the ball, I still want you to go for the ball. Strip sacks, strip the ball, interceptions, whatever the case may be. When you have that mentality, everybody get to the ball. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be very disciplined in staying in your lane, staying in your gaps, reading and stepping back and keeping everything in front of you. No, we're not worried about everything in front of us. We're worried about the ball. And in that style of defense, we're going to take a lot of risk. High risk, extremely high reward. Extremely high. Because in that defense, you're typically going to have the quarterback running for his life a whole lot because you're sending blitzes from all different kinds of ways. You're sending safety blitzes, cornerback blitzes, linebacker blitzes, Micah Parsons from all different ways as a defensive end. So when you're playing Dan Quinn's type of offense, it's like these players, they're suffering on that defense because that's what they did for 3 years. They did that for 3 whole years. And then we bring in Mike Zimmer, old school coach, very disciplined, very knowledgeable in the X's and the O's. His defense, nothing deep, nothing cheap. We don't have to worry about the middle because we're going to keep everything in front of us, and then we let it develop in front of us and we react. He told us at the beginning, there'll be nowhere near the turnovers we had last season. Why? Because we're going to keep everything in front of us. And we're watching the results of that. But Mike Zimmer, I'm giving him credit. He's done a pretty good job, especially with all the injuries. He's done a pretty good job. Micah Parsons came out decently effective in the first half. 2 sacks, 1 sack, 1 strip sack fumble. Okay, we'll take that. My problem is he's out of position, though. I mean, other than those sacks, no tackles. How do you have a guy like Micah Parsons with no tackles other than 2 sacks? DeMarvion Overshown is getting tackles and sacks. Micah Parsons is out of position. He's not getting any of that. And so when you get to that point, you can't really play the complementary football the way that you want to. These guys, they're just not good in this system. You can't tell me these safeties, these are the same safeties. I mean, they are atrocious. You're paying single high safety. They're not fast enough to play that type of center field. And, man, you got to give it to the Eagles, man. These guys tore the Cowboys up yesterday. I mean, they went after Kalen Carson. They said, you're going to leave him out there? We're going to tear him up. That's what I would have did, too. I mean, I would have tore Trayvon Diggs up, too, but there was no need to tear up Trayvon Diggs. There's no use. But, pride comes before the fall. I mean, this is what's wrong with this team. Our team has so much pride, and we're watching it fail. Not the Eagles. The Eagles said, where you bleeding at? The Eagles said, where you bleeding at? We don't feel sorry for you. Where you bleeding at? Wherever you bleeding at, that's what we're going for. You gonna put Kalen Carson out there by himself? We're lining A.J. Brown up on him. Ain't nothing he can do. There's nothing he could do with A.J. Brown. This man had Kalen Carson. I mean, he couldn't even look back. He couldn't even look back, y'all. He was so concerned about about A.J. Brown. This is one of the very reasons why that Jalen Hurts was able to get away from the Cowboys so easily. Because when he did step back and when those wide receivers, Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown's running out, they're so occupied with them, there was nothing they could do. And so, absolutely crazy. I mean, absolutely crazy. And we're going to keep going on this whole issue of Overreaction Monday. Andre said it's rigged. At least we didn't give up 100 yards to Barkley. He did that part. Problem is, like I said, and I talked about it on the preview show. Jalen Hurts had as much rushing almost as the quarterbacks had. I mean, as the Dallas Cowboys running backs had for the whole season. Jalen Hurts is dangerous, y'all. He is. Jose Covado said somehow Jerry Jones, nothing wrong with our team when he should have fired somebody overnight. Boy, Jose. I'm just going to tell you to get ready. You're about to see some of the you're about to see the stupidest, dumbest, ignorant, terrible football decisions, excuses. I was here doing the 0-16, the 1-15. Let me tell you something. Y'all might not believe me, but mark my words, I told you this. You are watching the worst season in Dallas Cowboy history. You're watching the worst season in Dallas Cowboy history. This season is going to go down in infamy as the worst season in Cowboys history. There's nothing like this season. Nothing. Even 0-16. There's nothing like this. This is beyond imagination, y'all. And I'm going to show you as we keep talking about this Overreaction Monday. I want to give us a little bit of an update. Demarion Overshown, we can scratch this off of our list. Demarion Overshown, injury update. He says he's okay and he's ready to go. He said he's okay and he's ready to go. So we don't have to worry about Demarion Overshown. But I'm going to get to that in a moment about Demarion Overshown as well as some others. But as it applies to Demarion Overshown, he's one of the brightest spots that we have on our team right now. And so I hope nothing happens to him. How do you throw for just 45 yards? Because you're Cooper Rush. Andre, I tried to tell people, we're looking at a record of 5-1, but we won't look at the details. The Rams, totally exposed. Cooper Rush. He completed 10 passes. And I kept saying, people don't understand, he's not good. You cannot tell me that Cooper Rush is better or equal to Dak Prescott. And there's not a single team, as far as I know, has ever inquired about him in 8 seasons. Never offered a trade. He hit the open market last year. There were teams that needed quarterbacks. They didn't even ask Cooper Rush to come be a bridge quarterback. But the Dallas Cowboy loving, Dak Prescott hating, Cooper Rush loving fans think Cooper Rush is the best kept secret in the NFL. Well, the secret now is no longer a secret. See, it's not the NFL that knows what the Dak hating, Cooper Rush loving fans know. No, now everyone knows what all the NFL scouts already knew. Did I not tell y'all? Cooper Rush is very limited. Can he throw some pretty balls? Yeah. Does he look good in practice? Yeah. Put him in the games. Just watch him. The scouts watch tape. They're watching him throw wide open throws because the play action is helping him out. They're watching him and they're noticing, he can't make every throw. No velocity on his passes. Can't really throw beyond 25 yards. Because if he throws beyond 25 yards, you may get the CeeDee Lamb ball in the Falcon game, or you may get the CeeDee Lamb ball in the Eagle game. And more times than not, you're going to get the ball that you got in the Eagle game. We don't understand how football scouts think. I'm not saying I'm a football scout. I just know what I would be doing if I'm looking at a quarterback to be the quarterback on my team. I'm not listening to rabid fans talk. I'm going to listen to what other quarterbacks are saying. I'm going to listen to what scouts are saying. I'm going to look at the tape. I'm going to look at the stats. People say, oh, the stats are the no. Stats are only deceiving if you're looking at them out of context. But when you look at those stats in context, they speak volumes. And when I looked and remembered the Rams game, Cooper Rush stunk in that game. He stunk in the Eagles game after that, and they would have let him keep going against the Lions. He would have got mauled in that game too. No pun intended. Heavy Chevy says complimentary football was played in the first half of games, but the second half have been horrendous. And yesterday we didn't even. And yesterday, you know what? We can say we saw it to a degree because the defense held him down, but where the defense held him down, but our third quarters are so atrocious anyway. And our third quarters, they are our third quarters. We can't do anything in the third quarter. We don't adjust on the fly. We don't adjust at halftime. We don't adjust in the third quarter. We don't adjust. We just don't adjust. And I said it, Heavy Chevy. They had to run the ball 40 to 45 times, didn't do it. What's going on, Freddie? How's it going? At this point, I just want the boys to get close to the number 1 overall pick in the next year's draft as they can get. We're number 11 right now. We're number 11 in that draft. And I got a strange feeling as the weeks go on, we're going to creep into that top 10. And you keep playing. And if Jerry Jones smells that number 1 spot, he's got a great chance to get it. Don't y'all let Jerry Jones fool y'all. Don't y'all let Jerry Jones fool y'all. Jerry Jones is going for that number 1 spot. He is number 1 or top 5. Jose Covado, we really chose Zeke over Dalvin. You know what is funny? We didn't. Jerry did. That's why the reporter asked him last night, what do you think about Zeke's performance? He got offensive again. Why? Because that's his move. Ezekiel Elliott being on this team is the epitome of what's wrong with it. Entitlement, arrogance, bullheadedness. You can go down the line. This is the problem. Moving forward, they should construct the road line of the future. Richards, Smith, Beebe, Bass, Guyton. This season is done. You're hitting on something we're about to talk about here in just a moment. We're about to talk about that. Paulson's in the wrong position. I keep saying it. He needs to be at linebacker. It don't mean you can't rush him from the end. Put him at linebacker. I keep saying it, but the problem is he wants the payday. The payday don't come with being linebacker. The payday comes with being defensive end. That's where it is. Yep, no leadership. Top down. Top down. There's no reason why players should be making some of the decisions they're making. What's going on, Buddha? What's going on? 45 yards. I try to tell people, Buddha. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that I'm all that in a bag of chips. I'm just saying. I saw it coming. Business decisions as opposed to basic technique. Yep, these guys have been playing since they went Pee Wee. Make it make sense. Bad coaching will mess you up every time. Bad coaching. The owner can't get out of his own way. There it is. He's making football decisions. Zeke should have been cut. And I'm going to go even further here as we get more into this on my next issue. Jay Recruiter, appreciate that $5 super chat. I've been watching since 76 for sure. This is the worst season because they have some talent. What have I been saying? My biggest problem with Mike McCarthy. I know what he didn't get. I'm not going to go back down the list again. Here's my problem. Mike is doing nothing with what he has. Absolutely nothing. I'm going to show y'all a stat again. People keep arguing against me, but I'm going to keep showing you. The devil is in the details. Buddha said something here. People say rig, but they fail to realize it's only rig when it's competitive. We got an owner that is purposely not trying to build his team. That's straight sabotage. You know how I know it's sabotage? When you tell me you have full confidence in Mike McCarthy. Full confidence to do what? Organically tank your team? To put you in the top 5 of the draft? To lose almost every game? If that's what you're fully confident in, I see exactly what you're talking about. If it was about winning, and if it was ever about winning, and Mike McCarthy I'm not believing you. You need more people, Jerry. You need more people, because I'm not believing you. It's hard to have hope anymore. The first step of solving a problem is admitting you have one. Jones refuses to look in the mirror. Don't you get him twisted, Sonny. Jerry knows exactly what he's doing. That's why he's not going to change out Mike McCarthy. He's not going to change him out. Y'all think this is bad what you're watching now? You ain't seen nothing yet. You just wait until we play the Houston Texans, and I promise y'all, Dan Quinn, you think Detroit did it to us? Dan Quinn circled the Dallas Cowboys on that doggone schedule. The moment, the day the schedule came out, Dan Quinn circled that thing. Dan Quinn circled that. Dan Quinn said, boy, when I see the Dallas Cowboys, we're going to beat them under the ground. At home and in Dallas. Whoa, you ain't seen stupid yet. You ain't seen stupid yet. You about to see stupid. You about to see terrible. You ain't seen terrible yet. Ron, no overreaction. Say the Cowboys suck. The only team in the NFC that has fewer wins is the Giants. And the Giants fought hard, didn't they? Couldn't do it. Trey just backs up, folks. Believe it. You know what? And I still would take him over. I still would take him over Cooper Rush right now. Get rid of Rush. Don't you worry. You realize Rush is on the last year of his deal, right? Watch what happens. Cooper Rush played with the same guys that Dak has been playing with on offense. Dak covers up a bunch of the deficiencies. People just need to study the game and they'll understand. I'm studying the game. I'm with you, Heavy Chevy. I'm looking at the game. I'm studying the game. I'm looking at these stats. What's going on? And the Cooper Rush, what up, Danny Dodger? Cooper Rush, it was all fools go. All fools go. Andre said, I'm so frustrated with Jerry. He would not get rid of the coaches. He will not. He's already told you. I told you early on. Remember what I said, Andre? When he made the statement, he regretted firing Wade Phillips. I knew then he was not going to fire Mike McCarthy. Man, Mike McCarthy is doing everything he can do to get out of his job. I don't think Mike wants this job anymore. I don't think he wants it. I believe he wishes Jerry would fire him. But Jerry gonna torture Mike. You fit right into my plan. And then you ain't gonna quit. Because if you quit, you know you done. Nope. He's going to torture him. Told you, Danny. Cooper Rush, trash. Told you. What's going on, Nisi? Told you. When watching the Cowboys game, put down the beer cans and put down the joints and pay attention to the game. I'm telling you, man, it's terrible. It's terrible. And y'all, I'm encouraging you. I'm warning you. It's going to get much worse. Because now, I'm going to show you a few things in Overreaction Monday. I said it last week. Mike McCarthy did not lose the locker room. Jerry Jones lost the locker room. Because as I say again, like Suge Knight said about P. Diddy, you want to come to death row? What a CEO is not all up in the videos. You want to come to the Dallas Cowboys? Because if you come to the Dallas Cowboys, the GM / owner / part-time coach, he going to be all up in the locker room. He going to be all up in the locker room. He going to be giving the end of game speeches. The GM? What is he doing down here? Yeah, the GM / owner. He all up in the locker room. Insanity. Creepy, if you ask me. Insanity. The only teams left on the schedule the Cowboys have a chance to beat. Ron, I wish I could disagree with you. Niecy said this team has been bad with adjustments for years. Coaching. You know what we don't realize? And I know some of us do realize, but you know the crazy part is? If Mike McCarthy coached better and did better at situational football, Mike McCarthy probably would have had 13 and 14 win seasons. And some of it is Jerry not giving him some things that he wanted, but he probably would have had 13 and 14 win seasons and probably would have got deeper in the playoffs. Mike's his own worst enemy, y'all. He is. What you said about Zeke, isn't that your own personality? He's the epitome of everything that's going on in Dallas. Arrogant, entitlement. I mean, it's crazy. Max Duggan, we got our Dallas Cowboys quarterback from TCU. How come we didn't play him? Because he's the emergency quarterback. The third quarterback cannot play no more in the NFL. You can only break that glass if the starting quarterback gets hurt. King Henry averages more yards a game than either the Cowboys running or passing game. Spider-Man, what's going on? I'm convinced that Mike wants to get fired. There is no other reason for this being inept. This inept. He begging. He's begging Jerry to fire him. Jerry's not going to do it, y'all. Mike going to have to quit. We're literally watching two people play chicken. Who going to fire? Who going to fire who? Well, who going to fire? Is Mike McCarthy going to get fired or is Mike McCarthy going to quit? We're watching chicken. Mike McCarthy is going to continue to call the worst games you've ever seen in your life. I told y'all before, I'm not giving Mike McCarthy this. He ain't this dumb. We watched him last year make adjustments. He is not this dumb. And I think what he said at the podium last week sums it all up. Jerry, poor player development. Jerry, trying to meet the team's needs through the draft. Jerry, not doing anything in free agency. Jerry, not trading. Jerry signing contracts late. Jerry not having all the players in training camp by April. Jerry. Mike said, I'm tired of this mess. There's no way we're watching a man who can really call plays like he did after the bye week last week. The man who called that Pittsburgh game. There is no way this man is this inept. You cannot be this bad on accident. It is on purpose. It's on purpose. It's on purpose. Sports Junkie, what's up? This is embarrassing. Mike isn't perfect, but he is the scapegoat. This is all Jerry Jones. And Mike McCarthy wants to get out of this circus, but he ain't letting him. Nope. Not letting you out of this circus, Mike. You still gonna put your head in the mouth of the lion. Yep. You still gonna walk on the trapeze up there, Mike. You gonna still fly on the trapeze. You still gonna walk the tightrope, Mike. You in the circus, and you ain't getting out of here unless you quit. You ain't getting out of here unless you quit. It's terrible. Quinn still has not solved the run defense. Steelers ran for 140 on him. Watch this. If he ain't got no answer for that run, we're about to watch the Philadelphia Eagles run to the first place in the NFC. We are. And I do think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are probably exposing, because I wasn't sold on Washington yet, because I don't think they're where they need to be. They still need some players, even though they got some good players. They need more time. And so I would not be surprised They jumped off of that huge 7-2. I wouldn't be surprised if they only win 10 games. I wouldn't be surprised. Janie said, was Cooper Rush any good at any other of the positions? I mean, come on now. Where did Cooper Troopers go? Where are they? They ran and hiding because I just can't keep saying, I can't even say I told you so. I'm just trying to tell people you need to look at this man's stats. I mean, those first 3 games, you got to look at who he played. And then as the competition got better, what we saw yesterday is what he reverted back into. If Mike has an ounce of sense, he should circle Washington now and say, we had a chance to we had a chance to the NFC Championship, but your boy DQ didn't stick to the defense that got us there. He sabotaged us. Better believe he did. You better believe he did. Sports Junkie, appreciate the super chat. Jerry need to go get caught in some scandals to get his butt out of here. Let the city of Dallas own a team like Green Bay. This is a crime on Jerry. Watch this, Sports Junkie. He has been caught up in them. He has. He's Jerry Bleeping Jones. Folks do not understand. Jerry Jones and Dan Snyder, they're not in the same stratosphere. Dan Snyder bought a team. He did nothing for the NFL. Jerry bought a team and put the NFL on the map. Everything you're seeing about the NFL, the business of the NFL, that's Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones has put more money in these owners' pocket over the last 28 years than they ever had before he came into this league. Jerry officially bought the business of football into the NFL. That's why he's already in the Hall of Fame and he's still an active GM. Now, Jerry, I don't care what scandal it is. Jerry ain't going down. Keith Rivera, what's up? Cooper Rush has got to be. Yeah, I'm telling you. I tried to tell. I don't know. That performance had to be one of the worst in history, man. Where do we go from here? Oh, I'm sorry. I went back to the top on accident. So let's get into my next part of my list. So I have on here Overreaction Monday. Y'all tell me if this is overreaction. Fire Mike McCarthy. Fire Mike McCarthy. Fire Mike McCarthy and fire him now. Overreaction, or should we let him finish out the season? I'm going to come back to this in a moment. I got a whole little write-up on this. But should we fire Mike McCarthy right now? Don't pass go. Fire him now. Fire him now. Nisi said DQ waiting for the rest of the Dallas defense to become free agents. I'm sorry, but I just think Jerry should have traded Micah Parsons. I don't care if he is in the division. I'd have traded Micah Parsons to him. I mean, we saw what he did for Marshawn Lattimore. Dan Quinn might would have gave up the whole 2025 or 2026 draft for Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs and part of the 2027. I'd have gave him to him. I'd have traded him. Wouldn't even thought twice about it. Jerry is owner number 1, GM. Yep. Help us, Jesus. Help us. I remember when Jerry tried to get Roger Goodell fired is why NFL hates Dallas. Hey man, you gonna swipe at that? You gonna swipe at the king? You better get him. You better kill him, because if not, he gonna come back and get you. Like I said yesterday, Johnny Unitas could not come down from heaven and take over the quarterback duties. This season still will not be saved. What up, G? Hey, I'm so you're saying if any coach watching this drama is thinking, do I really want the Cowboys job? Who's coming in? Mike McCarthy gave a warning to any coach that wants to come into Dallas. The only way you would want this job, and I'm not going to say the only way, but the only way to me you would want this job is, one, you want to get into coaching as a head coach. But understand, While everybody may know your name, you're in danger. You're going to have to compromise your morals, your values as coaching. You're going to have to allow a split personality, bipolar GM / coach / owner. He's going to be in your business. He's going to be in the locker room, which I think is still creepy. He's going to be all up in your business. Got to ask yourself, how bad do you want to be a head coach in this league? And I just don't know. I mean, how could this job be attractive to anybody? Unless your ego is bigger than Jerry Jones. See, Jimmy Johnson, y'all might not realize this. He's an egomaniac. He's an egomaniac. But he's also good at what he does. So it's kind of like Muhammad Ali. I mean, you think about some of these players like Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders was an egomaniac. I absolutely loved him. Because that joker could back it up on the field. When you can back it up on the field, people have a tendency to kind of be like, you know what? Well, I don't necessarily like his attitude, but he can play. And so people will love you and still watch you. So he's got to get an egomaniac coach who can stand up to him and tell him, no, it's going to be this way. Or if you keep on playing with me, I'll out you in the court of public opinion. I'll out you in my press conference. He's got to get that kind of coach. Bill Belichick could be that type of coach. But I think Bill Belichick is going to have to get some serious understandings if he comes here. Deion Sanders, he could probably be that type of coach because he's got so much respect from players. Coach Jerry will respect Deion Sanders, let him coach. You know what? Especially for the first maybe 2-3 years. By that time, Deion might decide he don't want to do it no more. But it's got to be somebody who's bigger than life. Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson is kind of bigger than life right now. So it's got to be a person that's an egomaniac. Paulson said in this person yesterday he wants to play linebacker alongside Overshown. Let's see what happens. Overshown, overreaction. Don't fire him. Let him sit in his mess with the rest of the team. You put this bad coaching right on your resume. Let me tell y'all something. We're going to talk about Michael Parsons in a moment. I'm going to tell y'all something. I don't care what excuse Mike McCarthy gives. You can tell me anything you want about Jerry Jones. Mike McCarthy had full control in Green Bay. You can tell me anything you want to about Dak Prescott, y'all. This man had Aaron Rodgers. This man went 13 seasons and only won one Super Bowl with Aaron bleeping Rodgers. And I love me some Dak Prescott. And I mean that in the most manly way. Who gonna argue that prime Aaron Rodgers is better than Dak Prescott? I mean, I'm telling you, boy, I'll make some people mad about Aaron Rodgers. That arrogant joker. I'm sorry. I mean, Tom Brady the GOAT. Tom Brady the GOAT up here. But I would have loved to seen Aaron Rodgers with Bill Belichick. Man, Aaron Rodgers is way more talented than Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers is crazy, man. People do not understand. There is nobody that throws a better football. He is great on his feet. He understands the game. Aaron Rodgers has made some absolute insane plays with the Green Bay Packers. In spite of or despite Mike McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers was carrying that team. I don't care what anyone says. Even with the talent they had around him, Aaron Rodgers was killing it. And the same result. One Super Bowl. The only issue is here, he's not getting 13 seasons. He's just not getting 13 seasons here. It's the only issue. I've seen this Mike McCarthy before. I saw this Mike McCarthy get fired. I saw it. He will not control the part he can control. Play calling. He loves the West Coast offense. I don't understand what's going on with him. Andre said, fire him now. Fire him now. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. I said it yesterday. Turnovers? I'm marking those off. 5 turnovers were not the problem in that game. Do y'all realize that the strange thing is the Dallas Cowboys, even after those turnovers, were still in the game? They were still in the game. The 2 turnovers at the end, those are desperate. I mean, one, other folk are questioning whether the Ferguson one was a turnover. I'm not sure he got that second step, quote unquote, by their rules, the second step and the football move. I think he was getting ready to make the football. It's just so bang, bang quick. That was questionable to me. Trey Lance threw a great ball to Tolbert. He just didn't go and try to get it. So the game was already out of control by those two. But those early ones, the game's not out of control yet. They're still in those games, and they're still kind of in the game. I mean, if we could say they were ever in the game, they were in the game in the first half. They were. The problem, y'all, the problems, I'm going to show you something that someone talked about, and I wouldn't believe it unless the box score shows it. I keep telling folk, we watched him do this the entire game. Mike McCarthy would have success with the run, specifically in the drive where Ezekiel Elliott fumbled it in the end zone. You're having success running the ball. And Mike McCarthy would pull Rico Dowdle from the game and then would go back to trying to pass with Cooper Rush. Make it make sense. You want to hear something absolutely crazy about Rico Dowdle yesterday? And people don't understand, why does this guy keep talking about Rico Dowdle? Well, I'm going to tell you why I keep talking about Rico Dowdle. Do y'all know Rico Dowdle had 10 carries for 50 yards in the first half? Rico Dowdle, 4.4 yards per carry, is 22nd in the NFL. Yesterday, Rico Dowdle, 4.5 yards per carry. He was 10 for 50 in the first half. I want y'all to look at this. Tell me this isn't insane. If Rico Dowdle is 10 for 50 in the first half of the game, can y'all help me with this right here? Because I'm struggling. I'm just not the smartest person. I'm not really the smartest, I'm not really the smartest person when it comes to football. Can y'all help me with this stat right here and make it make sense? Make this make sense to me, because it don't make sense to me. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Can y'all tell me why Rico Dowdle was 12 for 53? If Rico Dowdle ran 10 carries in the first half for 50, he finishes with 12 carries for 53 yards in the game. I'm going to keep arguing with people. Is it that we can't run the ball or we won't run the ball? This is why I got a problem with Mike McCarthy. The fact that he allowed this to be put on tape. If I'd have been Cooper Rush, I'd have retired today. I would have resigned as the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. I'm done. This man went 13 of 23 for 45 yards. There are some of us on this channel right now, with maybe a month, and maybe I'm exaggerating. But come on, I just feel like I could get 13 for 23 for 45. 13 for 23 for 45 yards? I don't even see how a coach could have a job. This doesn't make sense to me, y'all. I'm just trying to. Y'all help me make sense of this. Now, if the average completion is 3.5 yards. So typically, y'all, if we're looking at 3.5 yards per throw, hold on a second. I'm just not. So wait a minute. Rico Dowdle ran for more yards than Cooper Rush threw yards, with less carries than the completions and the attempts by Cooper Rush? Make this make sense. Your running back is running more yards per carry than the quarterback. And you let the quarterback throw it 23 times, but you only ran the running back 12 times? Help me, y'all. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Y'all got to make this make sense. .5 yards per pass versus 4.4 yards a carry. And people keep calling me crazy. I don't know any other way to say it. It doesn't make sense. And again, is it that we can't run the ball or we won't run the ball? Which one is it? Because I'm going to contend we won't run the ball. I'm sorry. The Philadelphia Eagles, if I'm not mistaken, they're playing on Thursday night. I would have had the Philadelphia Eagles so tired. They would have been so tired after this game because I would have ran the ball to the left. I'd have ran it to nothing up the middle hardly. To the left, to the right, quick pitch, jet sweep, screens. I'm running to the outside because you guys are pretty aggressive. So I know how to stop an aggressive defense. You want to keep sending somebody every single time Cooper Rush drops back to pass? Oh, I got your number. We're going to run the ball. We're going to run you out of here. And you might not let us get more than 60 yards, but I bet you this, it's going to be the worst 60 yards you ever stopped in your life. We won't run the ball, y'all. We will not run the ball. And this cannot be on accident. It has to be on purpose. It has to be on purpose. What's going on, Carl? A small, intelligent coach would have started the season considering his own lack of responsibilities with Rico as the main man. Then no Dak injury. I keep saying that. I just don't think Dak is injured. I don't think Dak is injured if they run the ball. And I've been screaming Rico Dowdle. He keeps on. And now I'm listening to the national pundits, and they're catching on. And they're saying, why didn't he run Rico Dowdle? I've been saying this since the beginning of the season. The Pittsburgh game was all I needed to see. Rico Dowdle showed up, and he showed out. He showed up and showed out. And he's only gotten better. And they still won't let him run the ball because we're still playing politics with Ezekiel Elliott. Somebody got to tell me, why is Ezekiel Elliott still getting carries on this team? Zeke is done on this team. He would have been done on this team for me. But this is Jerry's plan. I had said it on Twitter and Facebook. They can win if Mike sticks to the run. I keep saying it. 40 run attempts. Man, you got to run this thing. You got to run it. Mike ain't going to run it, y'all. Mike ain't going to run it. He's made his mind up. He's not going to run it. And I still wonder if some of it, I can't even say if it's because Zeke is here. He could have ran Rico. He didn't want to. Yep, got my answer after the Atlanta game. I had my answer because I knew then. I knew before then. I knew with this business with the mysterious illness with Rico Dowdle in the San Francisco game. I'm like, something's up. Lewis said, okay, Dak Haters, your boy Cooper Rush just threw 45 yards. Be careful what you ask for. They got it. They got it. That trade package wasn't. Jose. Only the Dallas Cowboys. I don't understand why I even let myself at times start to have an inkling of belief in something that the Dallas Cowboys are saying. I should have knew when Jerry said the Trey Lance package. Okay, so let me get this straight. The Trey Lance package is the read option. That's the Trey Lance package. So that's what you worked on. Trey Lance read option. Trey Lance run the ball to the right. That's the Trey Lance package. If that's the Trey Lance package, return it to Amazon. Because wherever you got it, it needs to be returned. Return the Trey Lance package to Temu. Y'all ever order something off Temu? You better quell your expectations when you order from Temu. If you're going to order a 3-piece suit from Temu and you're going to look at it on the picture and you're going to think you're about to get a 25-cent suit. The suit is 25 cents. All you got to do is put it in your cart, 25 cents. And you think that picture that look like it's a $250 suit and you got that suit for $25, 25 cents. And then your expectations is when that suit come in, it's going to be a $250 suit for 25 cents. You get what you pay for every single time. Get that suit in, all of a sudden, it just don't look like the picture. Okay, but I know it don't look like the picture. The color kind of faded, it's wrinkled up, the material. I thought they had sold the pattern in. It's a printed pattern on a suit. Does anybody know how bad a printed pattern looks on a suit? And then you put it on and you wear whatever size you wear and you like, I ain't never had anything fit like this. Yeah, you paid 25 cents, thought you was going to get a $250 suit. A 25-cent suit is a 25 suit every single time. Mike McCarthy is what he is. There's no getting around it now. He is what he is. Kevin Bryant said, I'm a Cowboy fan. We need to clean house on offense and defense and coaches. But most of all, Jerry Jones is his son. The problem is, it's your last part. I don't think there's no way to get rid of Jerry Jones. Andre, I think this is... You think you saw something bad against Detroit? I'm telling you, ain't seen nothing yet. The Houston Texans are a very good team. They're well coached, and they're going to bring it. Nisa said, do you think Zimmer's telling me he needs to use Dalvin and Zeke as wide? Do you think Zimmer's telling Mike he needs to use Dalvin and Zeke as wide receivers? Nisi, I bet you Mike Zimmer, he goes home, he turns off his TV, turns off all the electronic devices, puts them in the box, put them outside in the car. I bet you this man goes in his bedroom in the closet and he probably cries. Mike Zimmer been around this league a long time. I bet you Mike Zimmer feels guilty for doing what he's doing. Mike Zimmer knows the fix is in, we're throwing the season, and I'm a part of it. I'm a part of throwing the season. And I think Mike Zimmer's been trying to do the best that he can do. But the morale on this team is so bad, y'all. It is so utterly bad. I bet you Mike Zimmer cries at night. Sunny Day says our QB1 is because he needs to do more with less. All pressure was on him. And now we see he's been handling that pressure pretty well. Because you know how they say pressure will bust a pipe? It exploded Cooper Rush. Got to see exactly what he is. I don't put this on Jerry. I put it on Steven. I think Steven talk Jerry into talk Jerry into throwing the season away and pick high in next year's draft. Spider-Man, throw me the name of that player who talked about Jerry Jones is the problem. I want to show us that video while we're here on our first session. Let me tell y'all something. Something stinks. Steven was doing a whole lot of talking right up until that CD Lamb signing and then that Dak Prescott signing. Y'all notice that Steven has literally fell to the back? I think he may be the puppet master. I think Jerry is maybe just a figurehead. Steven is probably calling all the shots. My uncle has told me this for the longest. He said, you don't understand, George. Steven is the one that's cheap. He said, Jerry don't mind spending. Steven is the one that's cheap. I think we've gotten to the point to where Jerry might be out here just being the face of bad decisions. There could be some truth to that, Freddie, because he may just be the face of this. And Steven don't want to be the bad guy because I wouldn't be surprised if his dad steps aside after this season. Jerry may just step aside. If not this season, maybe the next. I mean, how much longer can it be? Rush was fortunate to have that defense and wide receiver Cooper. Hold on a second. Cooper doing that. Oh, yes. Yes. That defense and Amari Cooper. Yeah. It carried him. The defense carried him. Did you see Zeke trying to dap up Rico on the sideline? He wasn't having it. Rico was saying, I waited patiently for my chance to be RB1. Here you come again. Miss me. I saw it. I don't know if he didn't see him or what, but I don't know. It's pretty hard not to see him. He was right there beside him, and he didn't even dap him up. Because I'm going to tell you something, Nisa. There's another part of this, too. The reason why Rico did not play that San Francisco game was not because of illness, but because this knucklehead Zeke was clowning. Zeke has been clowning, y'all, and they said it. And they asked Jane Slater not to report anything else she knows. They asked her not to do it. Well, what else could she have known? I mean, what else is it about this situation? Zeke has been a knucklehead, y'all, because Dak Prescott told me everything I needed to know. Dak Prescott said, I wish I could help. Help what? I mean, he was talking like it was a mental issue, like he was getting ready to go into a mental hospital. He's been clowning. He's been clowning. Zeke is the epitome of everything wrong with this team. They allowed him to get reps, to be the RB1, to be the RB2, not because of his performance, but because Jerry Jones brought him in. There's no reason why Dalvin Cook shouldn't have been brought up and stayed up. They don't want to run the ball because they want some kind of scapegoat. They have players that can get the job done. So do they really want to win or just fake cry for the media? I'm telling you. Rico Dowdle is exposing them. He's exposing them in every turn. And there's nothing. They have no argument. Rico Dowdle ran the ball yesterday, and they did nothing. They did nothing to say, let's keep running Rico. He's running for more yards than the quarterback is throwing. And what's so crazy about Cooper Rush's average, there is typically a 10-yard pass or maybe a 2-yard pass. Maybe there's an 8-yard pass and a 3-yard pass. Do y'all know we literally watched Cooper Rush complete 3- and 4-yard passes? What? He was basically just pitching the ball to people that was in front of him. At that rate, he was skipping balls off the turf. Couldn't get him far enough downfield. It's crazy. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Shame on me. I thought this team could be a 10-win team. I really thought this team could be a 10-win team. And I don't know. Maybe they could have been a 10-win team had they stayed healthy. But looking at this team, it's like there is no way they could have got to 10 wins. No way, unless it would have been the perfect season. There would have had to not been not one injury on this team for them to do it. We should use Mingo. I don't know. What are we doing? Oh, they're going to use him. They're going to use him. They couldn't get him in this week. They're saying the first time he practiced was Thursday, and he's just not up to speed. Mingo will play next week, and that's going to be a question I'm going to ask later on. Put Jerry Jones in the retirement home. I mean, we got him. Maybe they already have. Maybe he's just a figurehead. Shirley Media, what's going on? If you're using Rico's rushing attempts to estimate the average yards per attempt, you should do the same for Cooper Rush. 45 total yards divided by 23 attempts and not using his completions. Gosh, it would be even worse than Shirley Media. It would be even worse. Trey Lance must be the starter for Monday night. We don't have a chance if Cooper Rush is in there. I got news for you, Andre. Watch what happens. Appreciate you, Kelvin Bryant. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. You ready, Andre? I'm not going to be shocked if Cooper Rush starts again. Jerry, whether he's lying or telling the truth, he seems to be sold on Cooper Rush. I mean, we heard it last night. He said, what arithmetic are you doing? We were not playing well with Dak in here. We only won 3 games. You've won no games without Dak. Until you show us you can win 3 games with Cooper Rush, then our math is correct. Your team is 1,000 times better with Dak Prescott at the quarterback. But he's doing all of this because I understand. Y'all understand stuff Jerry is saying. Jerry doesn't want to be wrong. He doesn't want to be wrong. He can't say our team is done without Dak Prescott. He can't say that. Hey, Jeanette, what's going on? He's the one who talked about he has some unique qualities. We can run the full repertoire. When I heard him say repertoire the way he said it, I knew then, Jerry lying. Jerry know doggone well they don't have a full repertoire of plays. When Cooper Rush is playing, he's skipping balls off the carpet. Trey, Aubrey, Overshown, and Parsons were the only players who were ready to play yesterday. Trayvon Diggs had an interception. Had no tackles, which is strange to me. David Irving, that's him. We're going to look that up in just a moment. We're going to look that up. So the question is, the playoffs at this point in time, I think the playoffs are all but over. What do y'all think? I think the playoffs are all but over for us. And mathematically, we're still in. And so here comes the problem again that I have to ask y'all. So, since we are not mathematically done, do we still try to win with Cooper Rush and stay in the playoff run? Do we continue to try? Because I'm telling you, they're going to tell you the excuses. The reason why they're going to start Cooper Rush is because they're not giving up on the season. That's the excuse they're going to give. Cooper Rush gives us the best chance to win. This is what you're going to hear. Keith Rivera, you talking about him being the figurehead? Stephen Jones, they're going to give y'all the excuse. They're going to give y'all the excuse. The best chance to win is Cooper Rush. And I'm going to admit, I said it yesterday, quarterback-wise, Cooper Rush is better than Trey Lance. But let's understand where. In between the ears. That's where he's better. But if we're talking about running the ball, throwing the ball, giving us the best chance to win, I bet you if you asked 32, I can't say 32, we're one of them. If you ask 31 other GMs, if you got to finish this season, are you going to choose Trey Lance or Cooper Rush? I would be shocked if you could find more than two that would tell you Cooper Rush. I'm sorry, even with Trey Lance's mistakes yesterday, looking at him versus Cooper Rush, I'm taking Trey Lance all day, every day. All day, every day. It's not even a decision for me. It's not even a decision. I'm going with Trey Lance. Y'all tell me what you think. You going with Trey Lance or Cooper Rush? I'm going with Trey Lance, y'all. I'm going with Trey Lance. Something stinks, Keith. I'm telling you, something stinks. Because it's strange to me how all of a sudden it used to be Jerry and Steven. Now it's only Jerry. That's all it is. It's just Jerry. Cooper is the best chance to win what? The booby prize? That's what they're going to tell you. They're going to tell you Cooper Rush gives us the best chance to win. And now we don't have the mythological, historical 5-1 start. Now we're going to say he's 5-2 as a starter. You hear what Jerry said? I've seen him play better. Yeah. Bad teams, defense playing good, carrying you, turnovers. You got to the Rams. You got to the Eagles. You saw what you had. We see the Eagles again. We see what we have. This is the excuse y'all are going to hear. Robert? Trey Lance. And I'll tell y'all something else. Let me see if I can find it in my notes from last week. I'm going to show y'all something. Because I'm going to tell you what I believe also. And y'all tell me what you think. Now that we're at this position, we're at this stage in the season, y'all tell me this. Overreaction Monday. Sit down all the players that are 30 and over. Sit them all down. Tell me what y'all think. And when I'm talking about 30 and older, I'm talking about the Zach Martins, I'm talking about those types of players. The Ezekiel Elliott's, cut him. I wouldn't even be worried about sitting him. Would you sit all the older players? Because I'm going to tell you I would. Zach Martin, from all intents and purposes, he's not going to be here next year. I would literally ask him if he would like to sit down for the rest of the season. I would. I would let these guys play. I would let all the guys, all the young guys, I'd let them play. All of them. Trey Lance, I'm going to let Trey Lance play. All the young players who are auditioning for my team next year so I can see exactly where I am, I'm letting all those players play. Guess what? Deron Bland, you're in my 2025 plans. There's something wrong with Deron Bland. Do not bring Deron Bland back in this. Let Deron Bland sit down. Just let him sit down. It makes no sense to bring Deron Bland back. I don't care if they barbecue Kalen Carson for the rest of the season. Kalen Carson, if he's going to be on this team, he about to learn in the school of hard knocks. I'm going to let him get toasted every week. I don't care what happens. He is now my starting cornerback. Trayvon Diggs, I'm going to put you out there just on principle. Until you start learning how to tackle, you're going to still be out there. Man, Danny, I still don't understand that signal. The finger in the whole thing, they're going to change that. NFL got to say something about that. Trey was using his legs. He should, unlike Rush. Trey Lance can open up the offense for you. Y'all saw what Jalen Hurts was doing? That's all you need. That is all you need. Because let me look at something real quick. Y'all ready to see how smart Kellen Moore and Jalen Hurts are? I didn't even bring this up yesterday. Y'all ready? Look at this part. You ready to have your mind blown? Let me take you here first. I want you to focus in on rushing once again. Just rushing. Saquon Barkley. If you'd have told me they were going to hold Saquon Barkley to 66 yards, I'd have told you they won the game. 14 carries. I'm not going to count Jalen Hurts yet. 14 carries. Will Shipley, 9 carries. That's 23. Kenneth Gainwell, that's 7. That's 30. We're definitely not counting Kenny Pickett. 30 total runs by Kellen Moore and the Philadelphia Eagles. Now we're going to throw in another 7 by Jalen Hurts. Couple of planned, I think, and the other ones were improvisation, give or take. So we have 37 runs by the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Y'all ready for this? You ready to have your mind blown? Feast your eyes on this number. Anybody know what number I'm talking about? Look how many times Jalen Hurts threw the ball. Jalen Hurts threw the ball 20 times. Let that sink in. Not counting his runs. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, let's just say he would have threw the ball those 7 times rather than run. And he completes half of those. He still only throws it 27 times. But because, and maybe he would have threw a few more times, but they didn't need him to do it because by the third quarter, they've already ran the Dallas Cowboys out the game. They didn't run them. The onslaught of running they ran some, but where they really destroyed them was first half, third quarter. And in all of that, Jalen Hurts, in a 34-6 win, Jalen Hurts won the game with only 20 passes, 14 completions, 202 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 1 interception, still wins the game. What does that tell you? I keep telling folks, you don't run the ball to have a dominant run game. That's great too. But when you run the ball, you dominate the game. Because you're dominating both. You're dominating the line of scrimmage. And that's the goal. I want to take it to you. I'm not going to sit back, let you fire off on my quarterback. I'm not going to sit back and let you run these exotic blitzes. I'm not going to sit back and let you run blitz me all day. Whatever the case may be. No, I got news for you. I'm going to take it to you. I'm going to take it to you. And I'm not going to run the ball up the middle and just run right into your lap of your defense. Nope, I'm going to take it to you. I'm running to the left. I'm going to run wide right. I'm going to run your defense to death. I bet you by this third quarter, I'll have you cracking, and then I'm going to break. I'm going to break you. They broke the Dallas Cowboys. That's why the Dallas Cowboys, for that first half, they hung in there. If you look at the score, the Cowboys, again, as usual, they're within striking distance. They broke in the third quarter. They broke. They absolutely broke. And Jalen Hurts was breaking them he was cracking them in the first half. And then in the third quarter, did y'all notice? Saquon Barkley didn't pop any big ones. But you saw how he started breaking through there. 5 yards, 6 yards, whatever they want to do with him. The other runners, they were doing the same thing. They broke the will of the Dallas Cowboys. And the floodgates opened and the game was absolutely over. And that's why, for me, I still say the Dallas Cowboys. I was trying to find it in my notes. I probably won't be able to find it. But for me, I believe that the Dallas Cowboys, what they should have done, what they should have did is at the trade deadline. I'll just be honest with you. The Cowboys, they should have traded all those older players. They should have traded them. Yep, I got my list right here. I just want you to see my list. Because, see, now, y'all, which I don't understand, now where I got a problem, where I have a problem now is that this is Overreaction Monday. So my question is for us on Overreaction Monday, is the season over? I mean, this is Overreaction Monday. Because Overreaction Monday, I'm going to tell you the season is over. The season is absolutely over. It is. I mean, mathematically, it's not over, but it's over. It's absolutely over. Just kind of going through here. No, Andre, he's already said it. Deion said he don't want to do it. I mean, Jerry would literally have to pay him $25 million. He'd have to make him the highest paid coach in the NFL for him to even consider it. Lance is auditioning for a job. Dallas isn't paying him. Well, he's getting paid $5 million, but I think that some people are saying he's auditioning for the Dallas backup job. Please. He could get the backup job without even playing anymore this season. I mean, Jerry's really doing him a favor. He is auditioning for a job across the NFL, and I think he's actually going to play it. He's actually going to get somebody to get him. I do not want him coming back to Dallas. It is beneath him to be the backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, he's just too doggone talented. Somebody needs to give him an opportunity. Give him some reps. Let him get out there. I promise you, he could win on a team if he just gets some reps. And see, my problem is, yes, Jose Dalvin is better than Zeke. See, my problem is now we've come down. See, Gene, sit the OGs down. See, now we've come to this conclusion after one game because of the mythological unicorn fool's goal of Cooper Rush. We should have already saw this. Because as much as Cooper Rush is terrible, it's not just Cooper Rush. You put Cooper Rush with Mike McCarthy, it's a recipe for disaster. It's an absolute recipe for disaster. Spoonie, what's going on, Spoonie Dog? We already talked about it at the beginning. Man, he's out of position. Michael Parsons should be a linebacker. It's no discussion. And I think Mike Zimmer's defense would be even way better if he could get him over there. Bland or Lawrence. See you next year. Watch this. DeMarcus Lawrence is gone. This is last season. Bland, he wouldn't be back, though. Not for me. He's got something going on. Yeah, he still goes on the radio. But as far as being in the public, he's letting Jerry take all those arrows. But that joker is just as responsible, if not more than responsible. The secondary, yeah, good. The secondary look a lot better. Yep. I'm letting Kalen Carson get toasted, y'all. I'm not even tripping on him. He going to learn on the fly for me. Because from everything I'm hearing about this kid, I mean, I don't really watch college football like that, but they're saying Kalen Carson is like, I mean, I'm tripping on how people have been talking about him. They're very disappointed in him because he's so good at Wake Forest. I'm like, I got to go back and watch some tape on this kid. But he's going to start for me the rest of the season. Jerry watched Cooper Rush put up 45 yards, fumble the ball twice, and miss gimme throws all game and said there was no drop-off. Boy. Rick James said it best. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. That's the only thing I can figure. I told people Kellen Moore's a good OC. He needs to not be held back, and here we go. Well, you know what? I'm not going to disagree with you. But boy, isn't irony strange. I said this last night, I believe. Isn't it strange that Mike McCarthy basically weaseled his way into the job because of the San Francisco loss? And he blamed it on the fact that they wouldn't run the ball. That was the year that they had Zeke and Pollard running strong. And Mike McCarthy says at the podium, I just want to run the ball. And then persisted to get the play calling last year. And then down the stretch, he persisted to not run the ball. But isn't it strange how Kellen Moore beat him? Kellen Moore beat the brakes off of Mike McCarthy with the run game. Do we not realize that if Kellen Moore would have wanted to, we had no answer for them going against Kalen Carson. We had no answer for Devontae Smith, nor A.J. Brown. I'll be honest with you. I don't think we had an answer for Dallas Goedert. I believe the Philadelphia Eagles could have literally thrown a party on the Dallas Cowboys. It's not what Kellen Moore did. Isn't it strange? Kellen Moore ran the ball down the Dallas Cowboys' throat, and he ran them off the field. And the very coach that they said would not run the ball is the very coach that ran the ball and ran the Dallas Cowboys out of their own stadium. That is the epitome of irony. That's the epitome of irony. Now, that delusional, in actuality, this has been the game that Mike McCarthy has been pretty much calling all year, with the exception of the Cleveland and Pittsburgh game, because someone in the chat made a perfect point. It was the same game plan almost that he had for Dak Prescott against the Falcons. It was the same game plan that Brian Broaddus was saying he didn't understand what Mike McCarthy's game plan was because he was throwing 3 and 4 yards passes against the Atlanta Falcons. It was the same game plan. Rico Dowdle goes off in the Atlanta Falcons game. What does Mike McCarthy do? The same thing we saw him do yesterday. Rico Dowdle would rattle off a good run, pull Rico Dowdle out of the game, go back to the passing game, throwing 3 and 4 yards. No. Mike McCarthy set up Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush to fail. The only difference is Dak Prescott has more skill than Cooper Rush. That's the difference. It was over when he did nothing in the preseason. He knows it. He just didn't plan on losing like this. Cowboys are horrible. I'm a Cowboy fan, just horrible. Dak said it best. We suck. And I don't think he was talking about the team. I think he was talking about the coaching. Trey should play next game because what more do we have to lose? And this time bring in Dalvin and Mingo. Jose, you know why we need to play Trey Lance also? Because we do have something to lose. But hold that thought. Let me go here for a moment. The Cowboys missed a golden opportunity, y'all. And I'm telling y'all something. I'm just built different. I don't know who their analytic department is. I don't know who's over their analytical department. I don't know who's the scouts. I don't know who's watching the tape. Even with the best play calling in the world, I saw what Cooper Rush was. No one needed to tell me what Cooper Rush was. I don't need to hear Mike McCarthy set him up to fail. I know what Cooper Rush is, even from 2022. The games showed what he is. And anybody who thought that Cooper Rush, even with that 2022 defense, even with that 2022 run and play calling, the Rams destroyed him. He only completed 10 passes then, and he only completed 18 of 38 against the Eagles. They destroyed him. 3 interceptions. He was going to get destroyed regardless. And I never would have said, okay, so let's base what we do in the trade game, y'all. Let's base what we're going to do in the trade game on whether or not Cooper Rush comes in and beats the Eagles, beats the Texans, beats the Giants, and beats the Washington Commanders. You're on drugs if that's how you were looking at the trade deadline. You're on drugs. It is insane to even think along those lines. It's insanity. You don't have to give up on the season per se, even though I believe Jerry had given up and has given up on the season the moment Dak went down with that injury, and even before he went down with that injury. Jerry Jones is a bold-faced liar. He's already given up on the season. He gave up on the season in the offseason. He gave up on the offseason in the preseason. Do we not forget? He didn't bring anybody in free agency. The draft was absolute. Still developing. We're not going to call it trash. Still in development. We don't even know how these players are going to necessarily turn out. Jerry Jones did sign the players late. Jerry is doing everything if we pay attention, y'all. Everything, if we pay attention, has self-sabotage written all over it. Anybody is foolish if they thought Jerry Jones thought this team was going to the Super Bowl even with no injuries. I thought this team could pull off 10 or 11 wins. I thought that if they played at the top level, top of their game, they could sneak in, win some games. Who knows? Mike McCarthy went 10-6 before it got to the Super Bowl. Anything could happen. But in all honesty, from the beginning, Jerry Jones didn't plan on going to the Super Bowl. He didn't. And every part of Jerry's speech, every part, has been nothing but lies. Nothing but lies. And I'm going to tell you what they should have did. Said it last week. This is what they should have did. Now, if y'all want to, we can put an asterisk besides these two, but you're still not going to convince me. These two right here, Michael Parsons and Trey Diggs. I'm starting my draft off with a bang. I'm about to rock the entire NFL world. I'm trading Michael Parsons for the new Herschel Walker trade. That's what I would have did. I don't care if Michael Parsons got me 2 sacks or not. As long as we're playing him at defensive end, we are misusing and abusing his skill set. And if we keep playing him at defensive end, he's going to do absolutely nothing for us unless we're playing with the lead. Michael Parsons is a front-running defensive end. He's not a Bosa. Bosa is a game-changing defensive end. Watt is a game-changing defensive end. Not necessarily because they're better. They are bigger, and they match up better against those tackles. They match up better against running backs that want to chip them. Get out of here. They match up better against poor blocking tight ends. You're not stopping them on double teams. They're bigger, and they're better against bigger players. Michael is highly skilled. Highly skilled. He is an absolute phenomenal football player. But if you're going to play him a defensive end, trade him and get you a defensive end in the draft. I'd have traded Michael Parsons. Trayvon Diggs, I don't even need a long soliloquy. He's just not good in any other system. I mean, at this point, he's not good. I don't even know if it's a system. I think he plays better in Dan Quinn's system, but he's just not good. And even though he's coming off an injury and maybe he needs another year, nope. I'm not waiting. I'll get from up under that contract. The Dallas Cowboys are going to have $100+ million under the cap next year. I am getting from under that contract. I would have got from up under the Michael Parsons contract, the Trey Diggs contract. I'd have traded them. I would have got me probably around 3 first rounders, maybe a couple of seconds, a couple of thirds. I would have pulled off the trade of the century with them. I would have got rid of Jordan Lewis because Jordan Lewis is a very good player. And I believe there are a lot of teams. Do not let Jordan Lewis get beat yesterday make you think he's not a great slot cornerback. If the Cowboys do not sign Jordan Lewis, I promise you there will be a winning team. They're going to go get Jordan Lewis. And we're going to hear about Jordan Lewis in the future. He's going to be on a winning team, and I will not be surprised if he gets on a winning team and goes to a Super Bowl. Jordan Lewis is a great slot cornerback. He is. He is. Oh, it's Overreaction Monday. I'm just telling you what I would have done. Zach Martin, trade. Anybody want Zach Martin? We got a lot of respect for Zach Martin, but this is probably his last year. Hey, Kansas City, you think you could use him? Y'all look like y'all might could go to the Super Bowl. Hey, Baltimore Ravens, y'all want Zach Martin? Y'all look like y'all on the Super Bowl run. How about giving us a third for Zach Martin for a rental? Y'all might even convince him to play an extra year since you got Derrick Henry. He might want to be on a winning team. Hey, Buffalo, you got Josh Allen. The Buffalo Bills look like they might be about to make a run, y'all. Hey, Cincinnati Bengals, you're 4-6. It's a shame you're 4-6. Joe Burrow is having an absolute monster MVP season. I would take him over Lamar Jackson MVP this season, which Lamar Jackson is having a stupid 24 passing touchdown season. Lamar Jackson may get this thing again. I would give it to Joe Burrow if he wasn't 4-6. It's a travesty he's 4-6. Hey, y'all might want Zach Martin. I think he'd be good for you. Maybe you could make a run with him. I would have traded Zach Martin. I would definitely trade DeMarcus Lawrence. Guess why? He's not going to come back in time to do nothing for you now. He's coming off IR next week. I'm not bringing it. What am I bringing him off IR for now? See, Jerry playing games, managing the team stupidly. Jerry Jones knows. And watch this, y'all. You want me to show you why he had no excuse? Y'all want me to show you why he really had no excuse? Because Dak Prescott went down before the trade deadline. Dak Prescott goes down. Y'all help me out. Dak Prescott goes down right before the trade deadline. You want to talk about a GM? Let's not even put the owner in this, even though he's the same person. You're the GM. Dak Prescott goes down. And you know absolutely well, do not let them fool y'all. They know Cooper Rush ain't close to Dak Prescott. They know it. They know he's not close. So you're going to throw away the opportunity of a lifetime? You know that you're probably now going to be mid to 11 to 16 already. We're at number 11 right now, y'all. You're telling me you're going to look at Cooper Rush and say, at 3 and 5, we have an opportunity to go 11 and 6, 12 and 5, 10 and 7 with Cooper Rush? And the way your head coach has been coaching, the way your defense has been looking, the injuries you have, and you're not going to say at the trade deadline, All of these guys are on one-year deals now. Every last one of these people I'm showing you, they're on one-year deals right now. You're not going to try to shop all of them? What? I'm shopping all of them. What is DeMarcus Lawrence going to bring you? Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is a good wide receiver, y'all. He just doesn't fit Mike McCarthy's system. The West Coast, I'm telling y'all, if you go back and look at it, go back and look at those San Francisco teams. Super studs all the way across. This small wide receiver thing we're watching in this era, that wasn't in those older eras. You had a few of them. We have a lot of them now. No, because we like speed. But no, Brandon Cooks doesn't fit. Eric Kendricks, why does it keep Eric Kendricks? I mean, if you're trying to win, yes. If your team is winning, yes. Your team's not winning. Your team's not winning. Why not get rid of Eric Kendricks? Do y'all know there's probably a team that would have, the way he's played for the Cowboys, probably a team that would have wanted him. Why not get him? Why not? Why not trade him? Trey Lance. Carolina Panthers, they kind of got a little issue going on at quarterback. Rather than us giving up a 4th round draft pick, I just wonder, would they maybe give us a draft pick and Jonathan Mingo, and they take Trey Lance? Tell me what you want to. I'll take Trey Lance over Bryce Young right now. Right now. I'll take Trey Lance over Bryce Young right now. I don't care what his skill is. I'm sorry. I don't deal in small quarterbacks. I don't deal in small quarterbacks unless they're Michael Vick. I don't deal in small quarterbacks. I don't care if he's Doug Flutie. I'm not dealing with Doug Flutie. Care how much skill he has. I don't deal with small quarterbacks. I'll take Trey Lance. Y'all tell me what you think. Overreaction Monday. I'll take Trey Lance over Bryce Young right now. They probably could have got a 4th round back for him or got Jonathan Mingo and maybe a 5th or a 6th. They could have did all of this, y'all. All of this. Because what all these players are going to do for you now? So you're telling me that this ownership predicated the trade deadline based on Cooper Rush. The Cowboys deserve to lose for the next 5 seasons if that's what they did. Because they're not going to win the next 5 seasons if that's what they did. Who doesn't look at this list right here? Ezekiel Elliott, I just put him on there. Anybody else y'all can name? Anybody else y'all can name? What are any one-year contract players, what are they going to do for you now? Do you realize all of these players right now, including Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs, are useless? Dak Delusional says, did you see him moving on the sideline or torn off the can't move that way? I already saw people talking about that. We got to be real careful saying that, because even some doctors are saying the same thing, that don't judge by the fact he was able to jump away from that, whatever that fray was, because some people have been talking about that. And that's why I was talking last night, because I noticed you didn't see Dak on the sideline after that. I mean, at least I didn't see him. It's very dangerous for Dak to be on the sideline. It's very dangerous. But, hey, you know what? I wish I had my Dak Delusional. I wish I had my, what's the show I used to watch all the time? The conspiracy series show. It'll come to me in a moment. I wish I had my X-Files music. Because it's definitely conspiracy theory. I saw someone else's video. They were showing how Dak was moving even in practice on that leg. So I'll be honest with you. I really don't know. I really don't know if this is all a part of some kind of weird WWE plan. I don't really know. But even if all of that is true, and you're still throwing this season on purpose and Dak isn't really hurt, I would still have traded everybody on this list. Because I'm telling y'all right now, I'm playing nothing but the young guys. Everybody that's going to be on this team or possibly on this team next year, they're the only players I'm playing. I would have stocked up on draft picks so that this would be an enticing job for a Bill Belichick, an enticing job for Ben Johnson, an enticing job for any other possible great coach. Because do y'all know what made the Washington Commanders job it was so appealing to Dan Quinn? It was the draft capital. The draft capital was insane. And they told him they were basically going to let him use it. Ben Johnson is basically saying, what we got going on in Detroit, it's going to take a king's ransom to pull me away and stop winning. I understand what he's saying. But I also say you got to be careful, like Bieniemy. You start talking all that noise, but when you get that opportunity, you better roll. Now, Bieniemy, I think he should have stayed. He should have stayed a couple more years, and he probably would have got that opportunity he was looking for. And so Ben Johnson is basically saying, in essence, he's doing maybe the opposite of what Bieniemy did. I'm just not going to jump at any job. If they're not going to offer me a king's ransom, I'll just wait here patiently. Get paid, get a raise, maybe go to a Super Bowl. And if Ben Johnson messes around and wins the Super Bowl with the Detroit Lions, there's no way they can keep him next year. Ben Johnson going to be a head coach. He's going to be a head coach. Freddie says, if Belichick comes here to coach with full control of football operations, there will be an argument between him and Jerry if he wants to trade Michael, unless Belichick just straight up stands up to him. Let me tell you something about Jerry. Jerry's a shrewd operator. I won't be surprised if he signs Michael Parsons before he signs the coach. That's Jerry Jones. I won't be surprised if he makes a lot of personnel decisions before he signs the head coach. That's Jerry Jones for you. That is Jerry Jones to the T. Niecy said, would you stand there when a train is coming at you, or would you jump out the way? I'm jumping out the way. I'm jumping out the way. I am definitely jumping out the way. Tony Simmons says, only the unemployed comes to Dallas players and coaches don't want to deal with Jerry Jones. That's why I think Kellen Moore is so attractive. Kellen Moore is not going to ask Jerry Jones for an astronomical amount of money. Kellen Moore is not going to, Jerry likes Kellen. I think Kellen likes Jerry. Kellen would probably come here for mid-pack money. 8, 9 million maybe. He'd come here. be the head coach, whatever, call the plays for about 3 to 5 years, get him a good starting job. Everybody will look at him and say, Kellen Moore is hot. You know, he's young. And if Jerry gets rid of him, guess what? He continues to get opportunities. But Mike McCarthy, if Mike McCarthy gets another job in this league, something's wrong. I just can't see how any team would even hire Mike McCarthy. Even the fact of him bowing down the way that he has, whether he's bowed down, given up, quit, whatever the case may be, I'm sorry. Mike McCarthy should never coach again. He should never coach again. Because at the end of the day, y'all, we have something at stake. And I want to bring this back around. Y'all know what we have at stake right now? Right here. This is a race to the number 1 draft pick now. This is a race to the number 1 draft pick. It is. There's nothing else to say about the Cowboys. I mean, what else is it? What else are they racing for? What else are they racing for? I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, what's the best case scenario for this season? I mean, we don't even have to look at the schedule. There are only 2 teams right now, unless something just crazy happens. I only see 2 games they could possibly win, and that's the New York Giants and the Carolina Panthers. And the Carolina Panthers are not going to go down without a fight. And as bad as we are, I mean, honestly, what are we really playing for other than, to me, we should be looking at these younger guys and seeing what they have. Put that offensive line out there. Put Bass out there. I mean, move out Zach Martin. Move it around. Put Guyton to the left. Move this thing around. Put this guy Tyler, whatever. Put these guys, start trying to see what you have. Let these corners play. Let Marquise Bell play at safety. I mean, you got to start seeing what it is that you have. Start running Rico Dowdle to death. Get Deuce Vaughn in the game. Hunter Lipke more involved. I mean, start letting these guys get some opportunity, because I'm going to tell you something. When you look at the draft order right now, when you look at that draft order, look who's at number 11. Jerry smells blood. Don't let Jerry fool you. Jerry smells blood. Jerry Jones, he can tell you anything he wants to, y'all. Jerry Jones wants to get up in this top 10. Jerry Jones wants to get in this top 10, and I'm going to tell you why. Let me see here. I'm going to tell you why he wants to get up in here. Tell you why he wants to get up in here. Right here. This is what Jerry wants. This is what Jerry wants. Jerry wants Travis Hunter and Ashton Jeanty. I think he wants both of them. And if he cracks that top 10, and you know what? Looking at that, hold on a second. Now, looking at that, here becomes the problem. So, I'm not going to be surprised, and this is just kind of thinking hypothetically. It is Overreaction Monday, so we can overreact. I'm not going to be surprised if the New York Giants were to get Shedeur Sanders. I'm not going to be surprised. They may try and get Shedeur Sanders. I mean, Shedeur Sanders, I think, is going to be very good in this team, in this league. You're definitely going to have to put some weapons around him. But the New York Giants, I think they're probably going to be trying to go for Shedeur Sanders. The Jacksonville Jaguars don't need a quarterback. Tennessee, I mean, I think they thought they had their quarterback, but from what my understanding is, he's been playing like trash. So they may want him. Cleveland's not going to be in the quarterback market, I don't think, yet. Las Vegas will be in the quarterback market. I could see them going after Shedeur. Miami won't be. New England won't be. So when you start going down the teams, maybe New Orleans could be. The Jets, I think they're going to give Aaron Rodgers one more season. Carolina, they probably need to be in line for a quarterback. So the Cowboys want to get up in here because Travis Hunter is going to be the issue. Because I couldn't see the Jacksonville Jaguars turning down Travis Hunter. I couldn't see anybody but New York, maybe Cleveland. Anybody else up in there, they're going to be trying to get Travis Hunter. Anybody else. And if you know Jerry Jones, Travis Hunter is the exact kind of player he likes. He's basically another Deion Sanders. He would bring so much attention to the team. Jerry wants Travis Hunter. Ashton Genty, you could probably get lucky on Genty. Genty could maybe, he could fall to you. But there are some other running backs in the draft that are pretty good too, that the Cowboys wouldn't have to get. There are some other running backs in there too that they could get. And so what's at stake, y'all? Overreaction Monday. I mean, the draft is at stake. Y'all tell me, do you want to win another game? I mean, do you want to win another game? Because look at what's going on down here. Look at what's going on. You mess around and win a game, I mean, you're basically falling into the top 18. Do you want to be in 11 through 18? Or do you want to be in the top 10? Got to ask yourself that. We got to ask ourselves that. And so there's a lot at stake to me. I mean, there's a lot at stake if you ask me. So for me, Ron says tank. I mean, for me, I'm just being honest with you. One, I'm going to start Trey Lance. That's my overreaction Monday. I've seen enough of Rush. I saw enough of Rush already. But for sure, if you haven't seen enough, I'm not going to play this switching around game. Quarterbacks need to get into a rhythm. Quarterbacks need to just continue to play. I'm going to start Trey Lance. Tony Simmons says, question is, can we win another game even if they try? Watch this. You know the problem is? Let's look back over here. You know what the problem going to be, Tony? Because the New York Giants are going to be trying to lose. Now, they tried to win yesterday, but I'm are they really going to try to win? I mean, going out? Who can the Giants beat? Who can the Giants really beat? I mean, I see Miami winning some more games. Las Vegas is a dumpster fire right now. I could see New England winning some more games. The Jets winning some more games. New Orleans is a dumpster fire. Carolina's a dumpster fire. So, but I could see a couple of these teams winning some games. So, we got to, man, I never thought I'd say this. It's been a long time. But we're not fighting. I mean, we're literally fighting for the draft now. And so, y'all watch what Jerry Jones is doing. Jerry Jones is trying to do exactly what I believe the Jaguars are going to start doing. The Giants are going to start doing. The Titans. All of these teams you see in front of Dallas. How do I lose while looking like I'm not trying to lose? How do I do it? How do I do it, y'all? How do I lose without looking like I'm trying to lose? I can tell you how the Dallas Cowboys can do it. There is no team on that list that has a better excuse than the Dallas Cowboys. Your starting quarterback is done. You saw Cooper Rush. You saw Trey Lance. Guess what you can do? You can start Trey Lance the rest of the season, sit down all the old guys, let all the young guys play, and say we're evaluating all of the young players, and we're going to see what we have. The Dallas Cowboys can literally organically tank, and nobody will even think twice about it now. Nobody will think twice. Nobody will think twice, y'all. I think they're going to try to get in that top 10. Nisi, you said play Cooper. Nisi, you said play Cooper. You said play Cooper Rush. Man. Woo. Man, Ron, the Cowboys is the only team the Giants can beat. He says it's the only team the Giants can beat. Sports Junkie, appreciate that $2 super chat. Sports Junkie said, fam, don't forget, Dak faking, remember. Hey, there are just people saying it. They're saying he's faking. And I'm, you know what, hey, Junkie, I can't call heads or tails of it because the X-Files in me sees exactly what people are saying. Let's look at something here. Let's look at this. I'm pretty sure this is already a discussion. So let's look. Okay. So first, let's look at what AI says, because that's what we're watching. That's what we're looking at on Google now. I mean, every time you go to Google, it's always AI first, right, y'all? So let's look at what AI says, y'all. And I don't know if we can totally believe AI, but let's see what AI says. The AI says, while you might be able to walk with a partially torn hamstring, there it is. Walking with a hamstring completely torn off the bone is usually not possible without significant pain and likely requiring crutches to avoid putting weight on that injured leg, as a full tear significantly impacts your ability to bend the knee and bear weight on the affected leg. In such cases, surgery may be needed to reattach the tendon to the bone. Clearly says right there, you might be able to walk with a partially torn hamstring. And I think that does come down to your body type. So, wait, hold on. Let me get some more in here. You may experience, if y'all can see that, you may experience pain, limping, and reduced strength while walking with a partial hamstring tear, but you can still usually move around with some limitations. There it is. Doesn't say you can't. Even when you look here, let's see if we can pull this up. It says a grade 2. This is a partial tear of one or more of the hamstring muscles. That's probably in the middle part, not the tendon part, so that probably wouldn't apply right there. It all depends on people's body type. Some people just have a different tolerance for pain. You know, I say this about women. This is why I say, you know, God made women so amazing. I mean, the threshold of pain for women It's off the chart. Man, I've seen my wife go through some things. Bro, I'm telling you, I said I've been done. I'd have been done. I mean, women bring babies into the world, man. I mean, women's threshold for pain is different. And there are some men who are like that. They're, yeah, I mean, Dak, I'm telling you, Dak delusional. The X-Files conspiracy theories, they already, hey, man, everything we looking at is kind of crazy here. Trey Lance and young players play. Shenard, what's going on? That's me too. I'm just going with the young guys now. I wish they would have traded all these guys who are not going to play. I would have not predicated that Cooper Rush. I mean, who's been saying it? I think it's Freddie Morales been saying it. Man, you could bring Johnny Unitas back from the dead. I mean, was he going to really go on a 9-game win streak? I mean, anything is possible. Man, that's a tall order. So for me, I mean, even Cooper Rush, guess what, y'all? I'd have traded Cooper Rush too. I'd have traded Cooper Rush. Really? I mean, what do I need him for? I'd have traded him. Yep, play Deuce. I'm serious. They need to play Deuce Vaughn. These last few games, Deuce Vaughn need to be RB2. And I mean, he needs to get some significant carries. He needs to be RB2. Rico Dowdle needs to move up to 25 carries. We need to see if Rico Dowdle is really the man who can carry the load. Not that we're going to keep him as the RB1, but he's definitely going to be our RB2. Can he carry the ball 20 times in a game if we need him to? Let's see what he looks like. Run him till the brakes fall off that thing. Run it. Ron said, thanks for making me feel better. Hey, I'm telling you. Michelle said, get BPA. Give me what that means. I'm almost numb to the pain. Hey, man, I'm going to tell y'all something. I've been watching some of these YouTubers talking about they so depressed. Not me. Man, I'm about to enjoy this season. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this season. Janie Scott says Dak was jumping on one leg. Jose said bringing in Trey Lance to run the ball twice and then take him out on throwing down only for Cooper Rush to fumble. Shaking my head. Worst Trey Lance package in history. Let me go ride around Manhattan to see if Dak is just on vacation. Man, I'm going to tell you something. The conspiracy theorist in me, I'm just not giving up until Dak is put on injury reserve. And I think somebody said that they might have put him on there. Let me see here. Let's go to Fish. Pretty sure Fish is reporting on it. I got a couple of more things to talk about. I'm going to talk about those in the evening session. I'm going to be back at 6 o'clock today. Let's see. I'm pretty sure Fish is probably reporting on Dak Prescott right now. If it hasn't already broke all over the place. Wow. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Fish got some good stuff on here I want to talk about in the evening session. I don't see anything on Dak but about the trip to New York, so I'm sure maybe it has, but I'm not seeing it on Athlon Sports to where it's come down, and I'm sure if I look on X. Does anybody know if it's officially come down on Dak yet? Has it officially come down that he's on injury reserve? Oh, wow. Fish says Cowboys will interview Al Harris as a head coach candidate in January. Wow. I don't see anything. I'm sure people would be all over this by now. I have not seen where they have officially put him in there, put him on there just yet. But what we'll do in the second session, because I didn't do it in this one, we're going to watch a lot of our interviews in the second session. Watch a lot of our interviews in the second session here. Let's see. Dak gave Jerry a reason not to fire Mike because he is injured, and it's not fair to him without starting quarterback to earn another contract. Well, we already keep hearing. We literally keep hearing Jerry Jones give Mike McCarthy excuses right in front of our face. He said last night to open up the interview, it's my fault. This season can be blamed on me. He's spelling it out for us. And I've been saying, I'm not going to believe he's going to let him go until he let him go. I refuse to be surprised by Jerry Jones. When someone show you who they are, believe them. My uncle said it to me yesterday at church. He said, George, it's hard to find a yes man. It is. And Jerry may have found his. So I'm going to read y'all comments and then just get prepared. We're going to come back in the second session and we're going to go over all these different interviews that are going on out there. We're going to go over on a lot of the things because I didn't get a chance to get to the Michael Parsons interview. I want to get to the Michael Parsons interview. I got a lot of breakdown on that, and I want to see if y'all agree with my analysis. Ron says it took me 6 months to heal in my prime. Oh, yeah. You talking about a hamstring. Yeah, it took my son. He wasn't quite. He played the remainder of the football season with a wrapped leg, getting a lot of massages and things like that. But he also wound up not being able to run track that year. And he was really good at the long jump, and he didn't get a chance to run track. So, yeah, it takes a little time. Dak has a small tear. Of course he can walk. And if it's small, and I haven't heard that, but if it's small, Jay Recruiter, as crazy as it sounds, I'm still saying Dak on Thanksgiving just doesn't it just wouldn't surprise me. Dak wants to play so bad. I don't know. I don't know Dak delusional. You know, my X5 music is playing too. I don't know. Tony says Dak gave Jerry. Oh, yeah. I just read that one. Start Trey Lance, Deuce and Hunter. Yes, I'm with you. Tony Simmons, facts. Wait. Sonny says, let's be real. I'm sure with 300-pound men about to crash into Dak, he instinctively moved out of the way. No doubt. Either that or get his leg broke. Jay Recruiter is partially torn, not a small tear. I would like to know the extent of that. Just watch Jerry is going to slap us all fans in the face by saying. I've been saying it, Rob. I think Jerry is preparing us that he may sign Mike McCarthy. Whatever thing, the season and the mosquito stung the cat and the cat ran. And what I'm saying by saying that is it was partially my fault. And I think Mike McCarthy's got a lot of fire in his belly and he's a great coach. But I think he needs to just coach the whole team and watch over all the affairs of the team. I think it better benefits this team. So we're going to move Al Harris to defensive coordinator, and then we're going to bring in Ben Johnson as our offensive coordinator. I can see it. I said it before. Bring in Ben Johnson. Pay him as a head coach, not $20 or $15 million. You pay him around the $5, $6, $7 million mark. I would even give Mike McCarthy a raise. Let him be the coach for 2 years and tell him, hey, Mike, this is a 1 year, 2 year deal. 1 year, 2 year deal. I'm going to sign you for 2. You're only going to be here 1. You're going to show Ben the ropes, and then you're going to be out of here. And there's no salary cap on coaches. They cut players all the time and still be paying them when they leave. Why not do that with a coach? Because I'm telling y'all, It seems to me that Jerry Jones is preparing us that if it's an option, if he can't get maybe who he really wants, he's preparing us. He's going to re-sign Mike McCarthy. Yeah, I'm with you, Shenard. I want to see what we have in offensive line players, too. I'd sit Zach Martin for the rest of the season, man. He's not the same. Dak had to walk somewhat to get into the sideline, didn't he? Yep. Ron, sell the farm. That's what I would have did at the trade deadline. The Giants will beat themselves. I think they're going to try to beat themselves. They want Shedeur Sanders. I say play Trey if you want to try to get something for him. Let him show some value. Play Cooper if you just want to lose. Purple. Trey Lance walks away scot-free. We have no rights to him. He's actually going to walk away scot-free from the Cowboys. Scot-free. There's nothing we can do. So if we play Trey Lance, we're just giving him an opportunity to be signed by another team. That's it. Sonny Day says he's injured but can still somewhat get around most likely. And Sonny, I believe that. And I think that's one of the reasons why, because he's probably moving around, he's probably saying, I think I can play. I think I can play. So we'll look at that, some more stuff in the second session. No other team wanted anyone from our roster except for Parsons or Diggs. That's how bad our roster is. I'd have traded them. It'd have been the Herschel Walker trade for me. I could play quarterback better than Cooper Rush at 55. BPA. Oh, best player available. Sorry. Yes. Mike McCarthy made one of the best points when he said that. That's the problem with this team. They try to build from the draft rather than the free agency, rather than from trades and the draft. And then you keep those veteran players. That allows you to get the best players available, and then you can just develop in positions. Huge oversight by the Joneses. Forget how long it took Tyron Smith to come back from his same injury. I'm thinking about 12 weeks. I think he wound up playing that season. Somewhere in there. I think it happened to him in training camp. So it took him quite a while because I don't think we saw him to game 11 or 12. X-Files ABD don't play say he had surgery just because the doctor said the procedure went well. That could be a hamstring. Boy, y'all stuck on Dak not hurt, aren't you? Richards at left tackle, Smith left guard, BB center, Hoffman right guard, Guyton right tackle. I think that's exactly what people have been saying, Shenard. Dak said we suck. Now I can go build my new house. X-File conspiracy theories, and don't say Dak had surgery because the doctors. And we can interview a new owner. Oh man, I wish we could. Resign, Mike. He ain't gonna do it. He's not gonna do it. He might have to forfeit that pay. If he was to resign. And I think that's why he's not resigning. That's probably why he's not resigning. I'd have to know some more on that. But Andre said shut Dak down. Yep. And I think they really have already done that. We are stressing about this team, but Mike has done everything Jerry asked. Tank the season. And that's another reason why, Nisi, I wouldn't be shocked if he brings him back. I just wouldn't be shocked. Mike don't seem like a guy to me that's coaching for his job. Y'all tell me. I don't know. He's not coaching like a guy that's coaching for his job to me. He said Homer Jerry Simpson thinking out loud. I'm telling you, he's not coaching like a guy to me that's coaching for his job. I mean, he coaching like a guy to me who's got job security. How many times do you do the same thing and expect the same result? You say we need to run the ball, but you won't run the ball. I don't understand it. I don't know who I don't know. He threw this season under the bus. He's also going to throw Mike under the bus. We're going to see. We're going to see when all this is said and done. EAK players and coaches without blinking twice. And Cowboys can't do it. That's why they win. That's why they win and we lose. That's it. Would Ben Johnson want to come here? That's what I keep saying. I mean, why would anybody want to coach here? Why would they? I mean, it's a circus. Would Ben Johnson want to come here and get blamed for this mess? If I was a hot head coaching candidate, I'd avoid the Cowboys. Look at what happened to Kellen Moore. Yep. Freddie, you're going to be the last one I read. It's crazy to think San Francisco cuts weak players and coaches without blinking twice about it, and Cowboys can't do it. That's why they win and we lose. Yep. Rush starting over Trey Lance still makes no sense to me. None whatsoever. It makes no sense to me either. Freddie says, shoot, I can throw more yards to Rush than yesterday, and I'm confident. Yeah, boy, he just did look. It's crazy. You said you in a wheelchair. Man, I believe you too, Freddie. Did you, Mike McCarthy, throw this iPad with Dak messed up on fourth down play against the Falcons? Man, Mike should tell Jerry, I take the season for you. I come back, you give me everything I want and I need. Yes. Yes, for sure. For sure. Yes. Mike keep on calling plays is all we have to do to take the season. Yeah. 146 total yards at home. Gosh. If that don't get you fired, nothing will. All right, guys. I'm going to go gather some information. And we're going to be back for the 6 o'clock hour, man. It's going to be loaded in the 6 o'clock hour. We're going to have plenty of these interviews. Got to hear what they're talking about. So we're going to have plenty of these interviews. And, you know, I definitely want to give some analysis on the Micah Parsons thing because there's so many ways people are talking about you can look at it. So I want to really analyze it, and then y'all tell me what y'all think about it. But we'll be back with that. We'll see if Jerry Jones has some more to say, see if Mike McCarthy has some more to say. We got a video to look at with Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs you probably have already seen. And then we're going to see if our X-Files conspiracy plays out. And we're going to see if Dak Prescott finally gets the final word on whether or not he's going on injury reserve. Oh, and Jerry, stay out of my kitchen and let me cook. Amen. That's what they say during Thanksgiving, ain't it? Stay out of my kitchen and let me cook. That's going to do it for me. That'll be my time. I'll be back with y'all at 6 p.m. Until the next time, let's talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Y'all don't forget, if you're in here, like this video, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I come back on. Let's talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Peace.